and welcome to Newsfeed, your daily dose of what people are talking about online, from news stories to what's trending. The ongoing Hollywood actors and writers' strikes have put streaming companies under the spotlight. Details have emerged of how little they pay supporting actors and the pittance given in residuals. If the strikers' demands are met, the likes of Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime will be forced to shell out a lot more money to actors and writers. With this cloud looming over Netflix, its second quarter revenue figures have just been made public. And as Nick points out, the results aren't great.
Let's go.
We're here with
Devin Werkheiser.
And where are we?
We are out in front of Netflix.
And why are we striking?
The business interests, the corporate interests, the executive interests are undervaluing and disrespecting the very labor that builds up their industry.
If Netflix wasn't already under pressure, Wall Street was clearly unimpressed with its latest figures. Netflix's results for the second quarter sent shares tumbling nearly 9%. Forecasts for the next 3 months were also lower than expected. It's been a rocky ride for the streaming video pioneer, and it's had to introduce unpopular new terms of service to stay ahead in an increasingly competitive marketplace. In November, Netflix launched a cheaper membership package that includes advertising, and then in May, started restricting password sharing. Many thought subscribers would rip up their contracts and go elsewhere. But, as this graph shows, new sign-ups are already exceeding cancellations, and it's expected sales growth will accelerate in the months ahead. On Wednesday, Netflix scrapped the lowest-priced ad-free plan, pushing consumers towards a lower-priced, commercial-backed service, or a costlier ad-free plan. But what of the Hollywood actors and writers strike?
I also particularly wanted to come out and protest Netflix because I was on a television show called Gilmore Girls for a long time that has brought in massive profits for Netflix. It's been one of their most popular show for a very long time, over a decade. It gets streamed over and over and over again, and I see almost none of the revenue that comes into that.
But we've got a lot of work to do. There are a handful of complicated issues. We're super committed to getting to an agreement as soon as possible, one that's equitable, and one that enables the industry and everybody in it to move forward into the future.
Welcome to CEO Fridays, food only for CEOs and greedy billionaires. Come, here's some of my favorite clientele. We have Ted Sarandos here with his perfectly white teeth, and Reed Hastings. and here's about the minimum requirement of net worth that you need to eat here. This is money that these gents have taken right from the pockets of hardworking writers.
Netflix did surprisingly well during COVID lockdowns and kept releasing new material. Despite the strike, it's likely to keep churning out titles such as Gal Gadot's upcoming Heart of Stone and Too Hot to Handle Season 5, and ride the wave of disruption and the extra costs it may well bring.
Yup, the tensions between striking Hollywood actors and studios are certainly heating up. And now there's the question. Did NBC Universal throw shade at actors protesting outside its LA studios? The film and TV giant is accused of cutting trees that gave protesters shade during searing temperatures in the past week. The row has been dubbed Treegate, and NBC Universal has denied it trimmed the trees just to stop striking actors. But actors union SAG-AFTRA pointed out that first, there was suspiciously timed construction without proper safety rails, and now the tree trimming eliminating shade during a record heat wave. SAG-AFTRA says it can't safely send its members to picket at NBC Universal. After social media outcry, LA's city controller says it's investigating the matter as trees on that street fall under its purview. It later clarified that no tree trimming permits had been issued for the location in the past 3 years. NBC Universal has since provided gazebos to give protesters shade. This summer has seen some record high temperatures around the world. A searing heat wave has hit parts of Europe, and it's only forecast to get worse. This map shows just how hot it is across the continent and North Africa, particularly around the Mediterranean. The orange shows temperatures in the high 20s to low 30 degrees Celsius. The extreme heat is partly due to the Sharon anticyclone, the second heat storm to hit the continent in a week. Sharon could bring temperatures higher than the record of 48.8 degrees felt in Sicily in 2021. But it's not just Europe that's been experiencing extreme weather. In fact, all 7 of Earth's continents have experienced extraordinary weather events this month. The start of July saw Earth's hottest week on record, causing the UN to give this stark warning.
These events will continue to grow in intensity, and the world needs to prepare for more intense heat waves. The recently declared El Nino is only expected to amplify the occurrence and intensity of extreme heat events. So we're in for a bit of a ride, I'm afraid. And they will have quite serious impacts on human health and livelihoods. Repeated high nighttime temperatures are particularly dangerous for human health because the body is unable to recover from sustained heat. This leads to increased cases of heart attacks and death. And it's not the only diseases that we see, but they're the notable ones. While most of the attention focuses on daytime maximum temperatures, it is the overnight temperature which will have the biggest health risk.
And of course, many of those melting in the heat have taken to social media.
Not ashamed to admit it. It's hell in there. It's horror. You have to be a certain type of person to survive.
A lot of people who ask me for travel advice when they come to Europe in the summer, and one of the first things that I always tell them is avoid the cities in July and August. And they're like, what? No, like I'm flying into Rome. We're going to spend like 4 or 5 days in Rome. Literally, no. Every single day next week is going to be above 95 degrees, and Rome is incredibly humid. It is so hot.
Any chance people could stop banging on about how bloody hot it is in France or Spain? You know, it's so bloody hot. Everybody there is eating ice creams and having a lovely time. Yes, that's why we go there on holiday, because it's so bloody hot and because it's so bloody shit in the UK where it's down sideways for all of July. All of us are freezing our nuts off and we're wearing sweaters. That's why we like it when it's hot.
All right, rock bands are no strangers to controversy, whether it's drugs, alcohol, or sex-related scandals. So it's no surprise that the band Placebo is making headlines in Italy. But it's not over the usual rock star shenanigans. Well, Placebo is in hot water because of a bizarre rant about, well, none other than politics. Frontman Brian Molko was performing recently in Turin in front of 10,000 fans when he began insulting Italy's right-wing PM Giorgia Meloni. He called her a fascist and racist, along with other colorful words I can't say on TV. The government is now investigating the incident, and Molko could face a fine of up to $5,000 if found guilty of defaming the Republic. Some politicians are now calling for Placebo's August 1st gig in Sardinia to be scrapped. They want to avoid a repeat of this sort of rant.
Giorgia Meloni, eh? Pezzo di fascista, razzista, fan.
All right, on to what's trending. Barbie, in fact, once an anti-feminist icon, now a symbol of empowerment and inclusivity? Well, at least that's director Greta Gerwig's claim. Her long-awaited Barbie movie is finally here to challenge the long-held negative perceptions towards this iconic toy. Well, Lara went to the Barbie Gala here in Istanbul to get the audience's point of view.
When it was first announced in 2016 that there would be a Barbie movie, few people took any notice. Fewer still thought it would be anything particularly revolutionary. But that all changed when the creator of Lady Bird and Little Women, Greta Gerwig, signed on to direct. People sat up and started paying attention. But expectations were mixed. Some Barbie fans just wanted a cute reminder of their childhood.
Actually, my expectation from the movie is to see how that Barbie adventure we had in our childhood evolved into adulthood. Will we be able to enter this world as easily as we did when we were kids? I'm very curious about this. I even came with my Barbie.
I have really high expectations of the movie. Growing up, she was my favorite toy. I grew up with Barbie cartoons, and I hope to find the same excitement in the movie.
Some remain skeptical.
Barbie is something the capitalism made for the kids to try, like, okay, every girl needs to be like you know, like a blonde or like really slim or like really beautiful or something like this. So I don't think like she's feminist. And I think who made the Barbie, they don't want to, you know, Barbie be feminist.
While others were hoping for a progressive breakthrough.
I'm expecting an activist script from Greta Gerwig for young girls to make peace with their bodies and to feel and discover their differences.
But whether you love or hate Mattel's favorite blonde, everyone has a memory associated with Barbie. That's why the Barbie movie has caused so much excitement. It not only promotes a fun ride full of dance numbers, crazy outfits, and a whole lot of pink, but also a story that reflects the essence of feminism. An inclusive world where femininity is equally celebrated. But the question is, did the movie achieve this?
Well, it most certainly is a feminist film. It's feminist in a way that includes everyone. It's like it's a rising tide lifts all boats version of it.
If you look at Barbie Land at the beginning, like the Barbies are on top and the Kens are kind of disregarded. So I was like, well, that's not equal.
No, right.
So
right.
whatever the opposite of misogynist is, actually Barbie's like. So towards the end, when they balance things out, then it might be feminist.
But one thing is for sure, between her vast array of ethnicities and body types, not to mention professions and personas, she clearly represents strong, independent women.
I think this movie is really important because for me, Barbie is also very like empowering figure for little girls and women because she had multiple jobs. She had a cooking career. She was an astronaut. Anything you can imagine.
Based on Greta Gerwig's track record, it wouldn't be a surprise if Barbie's journey continues to inspire young girls everywhere, whether they like pink or not.
I guess I gotta check out the film to see if it lives up to the hype. And that's it for today's show. You can check out all our latest shows, including this one, on YouTube, and feel free to subscribe to our channel. See you soon.